Guys, Rick, 45 News Utah. I did a 36-minute video just before this, and I did not post it. And there's a reason why, and the reason why is because I did a lot of rambling. I kind of repeated the same things over and over again, and we really don't want to do that in the newscast. So today we're going to do something completely different, but I have to explain what's going on with my work and getting the news done and what happened yesterday or through the weekend. Anyway, first off, this weekend, I went out hunting shed antlers. I had a great time. Found a great 6-point, beautiful bull elk antler. Found another one that looks like a peace pipe. It's awesome. It's got a turn down. It's called a drop time bull. I'll have to show you pictures of that or a little video of that. And then secondly, my job. I got some news. I might be doing a lot of work out of town, and that's why, hopefully this newscast got big enough I wouldn't have to do that and be gone for extended period of time. I'll be working in northern Utah. Just really don't want to be doing that. I'd rather be doing the news and my other platforms. But when you don't have the investment or the backing, 45 News Utah and WSM 45 I can't be there all the time to do it. So I appreciate you guys that are watching. I know it's just coming to you from Free America. This is free radio right here. This is freedom of the world. This is the world free press right here happening. Even if it says Utah, WSM, Western States Media. I have Western States Media, 45. So, I could be global. We could do this anywhere. But the problem is I just don't, I can't. I have to work to survive like the rest of us. I understand. It's just going to be tough. But I'll keep fighting and keep working. And I want to bring up some of the really big things that are affecting us. And as far as one of my followers, hey, I did the 45 or 2025 scenario and what that was about with the Iron Mountain documents, and got into the Australian military talking about 2025 global nuclear war, and humans, the deal with humans being too soft and cyborgs and all this stuff that went on. And I'd already seen a lot of that through one of the outlets I can't talk about because they'll ban me, but I've seen a lot of this, and I do agree with that. It's a good possibility that could be something that the wrong heads of state could do. I really do. I think that agenda like that, given the global sense of everything right now, there is a possibility, yes, we could get leaders that would do that. And stay tuned for my podcast, and I'm going to tell you what I kind of think might be a scenario of that happening in real time. Let me have a drink of my coffee. Allergies about ready to make me sneeze. So, don't know what it says. It says deck the paws. My daughter's cup. Anyway, today we're going to do 3 separate scenarios on coronavirus. Here we go. Coronavirus, right? So let's do this. 1, 2, and 3. Going from best to worst. Okay? Best case scenario is number 1. We're going to give you the scenarios of coronavirus that nobody will give you. Sitting here in my buffalo here. We're going to give you the breakdown in an opinion of a guy that has absolutely no experience in the healthcare. I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a global leader. I'm not the World Health Organization. I'm just a guy. 46-year-old guy that's trying to start a news outlet that's been involved with everything from the outbreak of this, the very beginning of this with the World Health Organization, what happened in Wuhan, and Xi Jinping trying to fight the demon he called the demon. I was watching it from the very day it broke out. I started Stop the Illness, which I have not grown or developed before the outbreak. Just saying. Anyway, okay. On to scenario number 1, COVID-19 coronavirus, a novel coronavirus. The best case scenario. Best case scenario, we get the vaccine. Everything goes good. Have a few mutations. We get this booster, and they're working on it. Oh yeah, the booster works good, and everybody gets vaccinated. And SARS-CoV-2 does not continue to mutate. And if it does, it mutates to a less deadly strain, more contagious, and it just dies out. It doesn't have the human population to move through because people are all vaccinated or already had the virus. and it just kind of silently goes out in the night like the Spanish flu, and it just stops, just ends, it's over, it's gone. That's the first one. Best case scenario. Threw all this money at it, broke the bank, pulled trillions of dollars and just shoved it in there, made the bankers rich, made the investors rich, made the global kleptocrats, kleptocracy, completely filthy rich off of this. Gave people a year off to sit and bounce around the country, having a blast, making, $600 a week in unemployment. Everybody goes back to normal. The housing market's huge. The financial market's great. We've saved the world. That's the best case scenario. We're going to get to number 2. So, number 2. This is like the middle ground. Middle ground is the vaccine works, the virus mutates, continually mutates, 15 mutations into 2 separate mutations. They're calling it the variant, which is happening in India, it's happening in Brazil right now. These are the South African, the UK, and the Brazilian variants, which are actually multiple mutations, up to 12 or so inside each one of those. This thing's mutating like crazy. But it mutates. The very beginning, it went from less contagious, more deadly in Wuhan. Then it went to more contagious, less deadly as it spread across the planet. And then the variants came about, which are mutations. And then we've created these new variants now within a 13, 14-month period, which is phenomenal. A very short amount of time for the mass amount of variants, because it's spreading easily through the human population with no immunity to it. And we generated immunity to it by vaccinating everybody, which I had COVID-19. The first strain that came across it was more contagious, less deadly, which wasn't the very first, the second mutation, and it nearly killed me. Ended up the ER saying I can't breathe, it's over, couldn't get air out in my lungs. Just saying. Went through all the symptoms. And the test was negative, by the way. Had every symptom except the high fever, and my test was negative. But they told me the tests were garbage. So I got the second, and that was January 15th, and it nearly killed me again. So just saying. And we get this thing under control, and it stops mutating. And there's a variant, it comes out with a mutation in it every year. We get to live with it. It's every year you go get your flu shot, your COVID shot. They try to keep up the new mutation just like they do the flu. The death rate stays low. Kids don't get it. That'd be great to stay in that scenario. The death rate stays extremely low. The long effects of COVID doesn't do what it's been doing to us lately. Your body understands it. It stops blowing itself up with your own immune system is causing the damage. Now with COVID-2, what it does, novel coronavirus, it just attacks your immune system, your whole body, your own body does the damage to it. And that's what's causing the problems throughout the human body is your own immune system causing, blood clots and damage to every organ and all that. And so, we get it. We get a little sick every once in a while. Goes the southern hemisphere during the winter. Then the northern hemisphere's winter comes, and it comes along with the flu and everything else. We have a time COVID comes through. Great scenario. Decides not to mutate very much. It just becomes something we live with. We just, like the regular rhinovirus or whatever. So that's the second scenario. Third case scenario, you better have a Dustin Hoffman ready. And that would be my position on the worst case scenario. Now, the worst case scenario is a possibility. It is definitely a possibility. It is a complete possibility. There's absolutely no evidence to say this thing's not going to do exactly what I'm going to tell you. So get ready for this. Okay, so allergies starting up. Scenario number 3. In India right now, where things are exploding with the 2 variants that are hitting each other, the Brazilian and the UK are slamming into each other, including a South African variant all together in India, causing an apocalyptic scene in India, where children are now dying. I've seen the interview with the guy that was burning bodies saying that the children are dying and the young are dying. Okay, that's factual. But just imagine this thing continues to mutate in Brazil, UK, and in India. And we have a mutation. Out of the 12 mutations that are inside them variants, If you mutates once in say Mumbai, and it starts, we have a true outbreak of a deadly SARS virus, just like its cousin. Deadly as deadly. The one that disappeared came out, had a high death rate, didn't have the human population to work through it, died. It wasn't airborne, apparently. Close contact only. Or Ebola, that wasn't airborne. So we're going to take 12 monkeys, which you'd have a hard time setting through that show. I did like it, though. Just like Outbreak with Dustin Hoffman. And it breaks out. It mutates. It finds the right person, has a right storm, and it decides to become extremely deadly and extremely contagious. Highly contagious. We're talking just like this thing was supposed to do. And it breaks out in Mumbai. During all the other COVIDs, we would never see it. The test can't determine really the difference by one swab, tell you exactly what it is. They have to test so many samples to decide what strain's running through what population at what time. This thing has a massive amount of people to work through. It has billions of people to sit there and just learn and grow, and it's moving. That's what the shots might be for, is to keep it under control, which we'll discuss at the end. And this thing breaks out. Before we know it, it's traveled into 4 or 5 major cities throughout India, and it crossed over to Pakistan. Guy in Pakistan, families, 2 or 3, 4 families get on planes and fly to UK, just like the beginning of the COVID outbreak. Instead of 1,000 people or 30,000 people fleeing, it's just 10 or 12 people that are mixed into that other variants, just kind of mixed in the population. We'd never know. Perfect cloak for an extinction level event virus. And it travels across the world within no time. It gets there, does what it's going to do. Just imagine that. Before long, we have an outbreak of the most deadly virus the world's ever seen. It has had a population to move through freely. It has learned and evolved, and it has evolved the wrong direction. It's not more contagious, less deadly, and where it's learned to live in the human body without killing it so it can infect the next host. What is this thing evolves that direction, and it just has one mutation, one deadly, deadly mutation, and it lights off a storm that mankind cannot stop. Cannot stop. In order for this scenario, if this scenario happens, world governments need to have trillions of dollars set aside, ready, trillions of dollars in equipment, ready for that scenario to happen. I haven't seen a contingency plan. I seen the contingency plan with SARS when it broke out, and if this was the deadly SARS, we'd all be dead. It went across the globe. They tried to stop it, but I was watching it from the very beginning, and it was a complete failure across the globe. Across the globe. They still allowed flights in. So imagine now it has the cover of everybody else infected, and it's able to move. Let's say it just doesn't have the population because people are wearing masks or social distancing. This thing doesn't care. If this scenario is true, it doesn't care. It's already loose in the population. If it bypasses the vaccines and it's able to avoid the human immune system, including the mRNA vaccines, and it's mutated enough that won't even tamper it, then we could be in a lot of trouble really fast. It's like we were attacked by a small army, like Genghis Khan used to do. Small army comes in and attacks. Genghis Khan waits in the background. You know, he's waiting for the idiots to follow him in. So we went right in there. Boom, boom. Chased that little group of virus up there, that weaker virus. Why, we killed ourselves with our own artillery as we were beating our artillery, and they're hitting us the whole way, just like what SARS did. Just blew yourself up. It wasn't even SARS that was doing it. COVID-2. It was your own body's immune system. Let's say it gets to that point, and all of a sudden here comes Genghis Khan's army. And that's the real SARS. That's the SARS that was able to, COVID-2, that was able to evolve and learn to be deadly and contagious and take half the people out or more that it infects. If it's waiting out there in the distance. We already expended our munitions. We already threw everything we had. We got the whole population of the world jumping and screaming and hating, throwing masks down and everything. Getting mad about everything. Governments, everything. We blew trillions, just bazillions of dollars. Every government is just throwing money out. Rich are just grabbing it up as fast as they can. They're sucking all that money up. They got all stocks through the roof. More of the rich have made more money during the COVID outbreak than any other time that in the history of the world. Because every one of these bills that are passed goes right back to them. Right back to them. Doesn't matter. You might hide something in your drawer. You're going to use it eventually. If you die, they're going to take it anyways. They want that money, but they've already spent that money. It's already gone. That $2.3 trillion going out for infrastructure and Green New Deal. If you ain't got $2.3 trillion setting aside ready to fight this scenario, this 12 monkeys scenario, where this thing doesn't stop and it doesn't care what vaccine you make because it's learning and it's faster than it's ever been, and it makes all this irrelevant, then we have experienced the beginning of the ELE event, Extinction Level Event virus that we've been waiting for. And it's here. Just put that in perspective. 3 different scenarios, okay? Let's hope it's the first. Let's hope it's the second. But these bobbleheads ain't going to say anything about that. If they want everybody vaccinated, why ain't they telling everybody the truth? The more people you throw at this virus, the more chances this thing has, the more populations it can move through, the more chance it's going to evolve. And when it does evolve that one time, we're looking at 13, 14 months. This thing's evolved so many times we can't count it. We're calling them variants with 12 different mutations in each one of them. All it takes is one. Gets in the wrong person, the wrong thing happens, and boom, we got 12 monkeys virus on steroids. Or Dustin Hoffman, don't nuke us. Don't nuke us. And in this scenario, number 3, the global elites would consider nuking the population and scorch earth. Scorch the earth, just boom it. Because they couldn't stop the virus. There's your Agenda 2025. If there's an unstoppable 12 monkeys virus where we can't even go outside because that virus is mutated, lives in animals, birds, and the water, and it just flat kills humans when it comes in contact with them, and we have to go underground like the show 12 Monkeys, you better believe there'd be a nuclear contingency in that. There would be people dumb enough in the world to think that they could blow the world up and just eliminate most life on planet Earth and start over again after a nuclear apocalyptic holocaust where everything's scorched earth. They killed the virus along with everything else. They could just regrow like Noah's Ark. There is a scenario like that, yes. There is a possibility of that happening. Anybody says there isn't a possibility really doesn't understand anything to do with science, because the universe is infinite and this is a possibility. Not a fake news, not a conspiracy. That is a possibility. That there is global leaders that crazy that if this all fails and this virus does what it might do, what it possibly could do, and they're not out telling everybody, we got to stop the virus from mutating, period, across the globe. Or this could be the scenario. It already moves to dogs and animals can get it and it's in the water. It lives. It's contagious. So that's my take on this. I will get back with you in a little bit on the rest of that I mentioned, but yeah, if we want to run, a scenario of extinction level event, this could be it. There is a possibility, not fake news. YouTube, don't censor me. And if you guys want to help out 45 News Utah needs your help. Really will need financial backing. I'm telling you, like, share, subscribe. Got to get this channel moving. If you like my stuff and you like to hear more scenarios and possibilities and probabilities and actual things that could happen instead of being, a conspiracy theory, support my channel. I'll tell you the truth from my perspective. I'm standing alone here. I got me and my buffalo that I hunted back in 2012. And we're just alone. I don't have any backing. I have to go to work. And I don't want my job to take away from this calling I have. This idea, this thought I had, this dream to build a station that was just there for truth. We had all this truth coming out, and it just got stifled. Somebody's got to fight the bobbleheads on CNN. And we have other people that are doing it, but why not have me join them? Why don't we build a station? a talk show. So remember, support any way you guys can. Let me know, because I'll take anything I can get, anything to get me out of having to go do what I have to do, and be able to sit down here, talk about the facts with you, give you the actual scenarios. Because how many people are thinking about scenario number 3 here? Why are they not? Why is nobody talking about it? Because of the markets. Because they're sopping up the money as fast as they can print it. Well, it's not print, they digitally produce it. They're stealing the future. Great-grandchildren's money's going out the window, and they're ready to sign $2.3 trillion more dollars that doesn't exist, that they're going to owe before they even know what this virus is capable of. Because every time you read about it, possibility, maybe don't think, okay, that's the same thing as this video is about. Every fact that we're getting off the news, even from Fauci, is possibilities. Exactly what I'm saying, YouTube. Exactly. So remember that. Hopefully my video does not get kicked off the air. I hope to continue this. So you guys have a great night. You're awesome. Thanks for watching. Thanks to all you. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll talk to you later.